You got to kind of wiggle it and hold your mouth just right to get it to go. I'm not going to tighten that just yet. I'm going to kind of position that, maybe something like that. Okay, about there. And I'm going to wrap this with Teflon tape, I think is what I'm going to do. But you see that? That's pretty snug. But I'll get in there with some channel locks, maybe channel locks. I've got just my regular pliers. Yeah, I don't think I want to. Well, I guess I could. Boy, I almost need a second person here to. The last thing I want to do is over tighten it. And it's got that plastic threads. It just doesn't seem like a very good way to do that, huh? Okay. Now I think I'll wrap this with some Teflon tape just to be on the safe side. Okay. Like I say, if you don't have any Teflon tape, and if this is a brand new one, chances are it's not going to leak. But I don't want to take the dishwasher out later on and find out it's leaking and have to mess with it later. You know what I mean? And so I think I'm going to be safe rather than sorry. It's just kind of like more than likely it's not going to leak, but if it were to leak, it won't leak with the Teflon tape on there. So my Teflon tape is just a backup, and it's a good thing to do if you got it around. Okay, let's see if I can't do this. Now, the way I want to put this Teflon tape on is so that when I pull the end of it off, it's going the proper direction for when I'm tightening. Okay, so if I want to put this on, if I put it on this way, then the backside is going to come over, and when I pull it off, this tape is going to be going this way, but I want it to go the very opposite. So see, I'm going to have to go from the back and then go around that way. Okay, I'm going to be careful with this. And I'm just going to pull it off. Okay, I don't want it to stick over my threads any, so I'm just going to wrap it kind of on the top of that. You see what I mean? That way. Okay, so as I'm tightening, it's going to tighten the Teflon tape right on there. If I would have wrapped that the opposite direction as what I just did, it would have been easier for me to put it on, right? But it would have been wrong, because when I tighten this up, as this nut is going that direction, it would actually be wanting to loosen up the Teflon tape. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so now these threads are so thin. You want to make sure you can get it on there with your fingers. Okay? You don't want to just barely start it and say, oh, I'll just get my wrench on there and tighten it up. And if you've got it starting to cross thread, that's probably why you couldn't get it on there fairly snug with your finger. And then if you start tightening it, you're going to cross thread that. And there's no way that's going to hold. You think, just keep going and going and going, and pretty soon you loosen up something else, and it's just not going to be on there properly. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so now I'm going to tighten that up on there. Snug. I'm going to make it snug. I'm not going to overdo it. With this one, there's nothing for me to grab onto, is there? To make it much more than that. I guess I could grab that with my pliers and just do it a hair more. I don't want to do too much. And by doing that, I could tighten that just a hair more with my pliers so I didn't put too much force on this. You see? And now I've got that going just where I want it. And see, I think you can still turn this ever so much because that piece is tight up inside with the rubber washer, remember? And so I'm pretty sure I got that. So if you need to move that just a little, you can still, see? Okay, so that's about how I want that, right? All right. On to the next step. What is the next step, by the way? Before we go to the next step, if you've got a dishwasher and it requires this fitting here, you want to put the Teflon tape on exactly how I showed you how to do it over there. And then you're not going to go with that type of end. Okay? You're going to go with this, put the Teflon tape on there, get it nice and tight, and then you'll want this directed whichever way your pipe's going to go. You'll have to tighten it up exactly that way. And this is a little bit more tricky because if you got it tight all the way up to there, but yet you want this outlet to be down here, now you're going to have to crank it over some more and some more and some more, hoping that it doesn't mess up your threads and all that kind of stuff. Well, isn't that funny? I'm not even going to use that this time. I'm glad I read those directions, and I've got these parts. I'll probably end up saving that. I'll save all my little parts and keep it with the dishwasher in case I ever need them for something else. I'll know I've got a washer there and stuff like that, okay? Read your directions and do it